Hi, welcome to the Library Podcast. This bookish podcast hopes to encourage readers to delve deeper into their local libraries and bookshops to find treasures among the shelves. My name is Kim, and this podcast is produced by the Marmora Lake Public Library. In this episode, we are exploring a library collection that was co-created with a very special patron, and we have an original poem by a Marmora Lake writer. When the idea for this podcast first began to take shape, I knew that I would like to interview Marmora resident Suzanne Gerard about the book collection that she helped to create. Suzanne had a wonderful sense of curiosity and agreed to discuss with us how the idea for the Diana Beresford-Kroeger collection began, her deep admiration for Beresford-Kroeger, and how the collection had expanded over time. Sadly, Suzanne unexpectedly passed away. All of us at the Marmora Lake Public Library miss seeing Suzanne whenever she would visit the library, which was almost weekly. While we do not have a recorded interview with Suzanne, we do have some wonderful reviews that she wrote to go along with some of the books that are in the collection that she helped to create. To honor Suzanne and her collection, the podcast will now be sharing Suzanne's words being read by various library staff and patrons. To start off, I will be sharing what Suzanne wrote about the new collection that just appeared in the library a little over a year ago. Did you know we have a special nature scientist in our own neck of the woods? Diana Beresford-Kroeger has devoted her life in England, Ireland, America, and Canada not only to investigating and experimenting, but also to sharing her wide-ranging knowledge, experience, and wisdom through articles, lectures, and interviews. Her books and documentary are of particular interest to us. And so, in recognition of her contribution to our understanding of the world around us, and in honor of her 80th birthday, our library has set up the Diana Beresford-Kroeger collection. To start with, we have The Global Forest, 40 Ways Trees Can Save Us, The Sweetness of a Simple Life, Tips for Healthier, Happier, and Kinder Living gleaned from the wisdom and science of nature, and To Speak for the Trees, My Life's Journey from Ancient Celtic Wisdom to a Healing Vision of the Forest. You'll find Diana presents all her topics in an easygoing way, so you'll enjoy becoming familiar with her professional and personal thoughts and ideas. Next, we have the Marmora Lake Public Library's Summer Program Coordinator, Skylar, reading Suzanne's review of the documentary film, The Hidden Life of Trees.
Travel with this curious, thoughtful German forester who wrote the very popular book of the same title. Attend hands-on workshops at his forest academy. Hike with him in Sweden to witness the world's oldest tree. Then go on a tour of a recovering forest in Poland. Back in Germany, meet with a researcher at the University of Bonn. Next, join a citizens' march to protect a local forest. Set off again to explore a First Nations area of concern on Vancouver Island by boat and trail. Return home to Peter's comment about discovering a myriad of wonders, and to gaze at a star-filled sky through the branches of a tree. Loosely covering 9 of the original 36 chapters allows for a wide range of scientific and ecological information demonstrated with the benefit of wonderful time-lapse photography. The author's dedication to his life's work naturally leads him to raise legitimate issues as well. As the credits roll, notice the parade of creative covers for his book's 21 language editions, including the one in our library.
Anne-Marie will be sharing Suzanne's words on the book How to Forage for Mushrooms Without Dying.
Puffball, morel, and turkey tail are kinds of edible mushrooms found in this area. Frank Hyman helps with positive identification of these and 26 other wild fungi in his book How to Forage for Mushrooms Without Dying. An experienced forager and teacher, he presents information aimed at the beginner. Basic science terms, explanations, simple either-or categories, and icons indicating edible, medicinal, sickener, and killer species. In a few pages, each fungi section covers feasting, preserving, farming, and lookalikes, ending with a summary page, Know Before You Eat, designed for quick checks. Also included are lots of photos, personal advice, tips, and varied resources. Hyman is an enthusiastic yet practical guide who encourages new foragers to be safe and eat well.
Lastly, we have Graham reading Suzanne's thoughts on some birding books that were added to the collection this past spring.
We see the chickadees, finches, and woodpeckers at backyard feeders in winter. In this area, it is the sight and sound of the red-winged blackbirds that signal spring, even more than the robins do. These birds and many more are found in 4 new books. The Case of the Growing Bird Feeder and The Case of the Noisy Neighbor are delightful picture books that encourage young children to learn by doing. Daisy and Scott model nature research as they gather clues by observing, reading, and recording. They actually consult library books and keep field notes. When they pause and have a mindful moment, we glimpse the magic of nature. The books end with a few helpful, simple definitions and the directions for related nature craft. The creativity that produced these gumboot kids' nature mysteries is bound to rub off on their readers. We have Jeffrey Dahm, wildlife artist and author, to thank for the next 2 books. My First Ontario Bird book is a beginner's guide based on experience, not age. The book is so well organized that the reader moves through the material with ease. The first parts provide background, especially the icons and their explanations, to assist with the rest of the book. Following are the 3 chapters, Backyard Birds, Common Water Birds, and Woods and Fields. There is a colorful 2-page spread for most birds, so all the information is seen at a glance. Even the seasoned twitcher might learn a thing or two from the special facts in the Did You Know section. Lorimer Field Guide to 225 Ontario Birds is a concise, full-color guide to wild birds and birding hotspots throughout southern Ontario. Well organized from start to finish, the first parts guide the reader through the visual keys to be used for size, flight, seasons, feeding, habitat, and lookalikes, along with a quick size reference and listing of expert-chosen birding spots. Following are water birds with 6 groups including shorebirds and ducks and other divers. Land birds has 24 groups, including owls, tree climbing, and swallow-like. Each bird occupies a full page showing those 6 visual keys, plus facts about coloring, voice, and food. All in all, an excellent resource. Previously mentioned birding hotspots is of special interest, especially the southeastern and eastern Ontario areas, which have listings under Stony Lake, Brighton, Prince Edward County, Napanee, Kingston, and Ottawa. Closer to home, the Marmora Lake section lists trails including Nayer's Common Wetland right in town. An inventory of 20 species in its forest, meadow, and water habitats is included. You might see a heron, owl, or killdeer there.
One of the segments to the library podcast will feature in many episodes going forward are original pieces written by area writers. In this episode, we are delighted to share Mary Elizabeth reading her original poem, Trees.
Trees. Some are tall and majestic, and some grow to unwavering heights. Some are short and sturdy, catching your eye standing in perfect shape. There are those that creak and groan, and those that sway and bend, truly to unusual sights. But it is those that have fallen, some that are broken, and held in the limbs of others. That is when you are reminded that trees are very similar to us.
A Greek proverb shares the wisdom that a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. The books in Suzanne's collection act as seeds that are freely shared to grow our understanding of the world we live in. Suzanne's wisdom and generosity will continue to teach and inspire the community for many years to come. The collection that Suzanne helped to build is now called the Suzanne Girard Collection in her honor. Some of the books you heard in this podcast episode and are featured in Suzanne Girard's collection are the Diana Beresford-Kroeger books, The Global Forest, 40 Ways Trees Can Save Us, The Sweetness of the Simple Life, To Speak for the Trees, Arboretum Borealis, and A Garden for Life. Also featured is the DVD Call of the Forest and the documentary The Hidden Lives of Trees. Also, The Hidden Life of Trees, a graphic novel by Peter Wohlleben, and Peter and the Tree Children, also by Peter Wohlleben. Finding the Mother Tree, Suzanne Simard, How to Forage for Mushrooms Without Dying, Frank Hyman, Jeffrey Dom's Ontario Birds, and an assortment of children's picture books. Thanks so much for spending time with the To the Library podcast.